Hello, my friends, my family, my esteemed colleagues. I want to make just a quick video about constipation, because constipation is actually a problem for many people, although they don't talk about it much. Now, when we are asking our health gurus about constipation, it's always, well, eat this plant and you need fiber. Fiber is going to make it better, and baloney. It has nothing to do with fiber, especially not vegetable fiber. What makes us constipated? Only one thing: lack of water, lack of plasma. And why is this lack happening? Well, because we are not drinking enough water and we are not having enough salt. So even when we are drinking water, body cannot hold it, so it gets rid of it. But since there is a need for water, it will keep absorbing and throwing it out, urinating. And this will make our feces hard, because if we don't drink enough water, then body tries to soak back into the circulation every drop that it can get from the intestines. And this is what is making the feces dry. Then it compacts. As it dries, it has smaller value, because most of it should be water, but now it compresses, so more of it fits in, because less amount of feces gives you less urge to go to bathroom, and we get these compounds being created in our intestines. Now we are blaming meat on it. Yes, if you are overcooking meat, you destroy its own enzymes, so it cannot self-digest. And since proteins are going to coagulate, they lose water. That's why meat, when you cook it, decreases in volume, gets compact like a shoe leather, and then even your enzymes cannot penetrate, and you cannot digest it. This is why you eat hard-boiled egg. The protein, the white stuff, is very hard, and it sits in your stomach like a bomb. Then it needs bacteria to break it down, and they can do it only from the surface. And what happens when bacteria attack something? They produce gas, awful smell. You go to bathroom, sure, you want to die, you need a mask. Same as with meat. So proteins you should eat raw, or as raw as possible, before they lose water, before it really coagulates the protein hard. And this is very important to understand. So now, many people who are following the protocol also have the same problem. They start with diarrhea, for example, and all of a sudden diarrhea stops and they go in constipation, and they are drinking more water than ever they did, and plasma, actually, water with salt. Now, why this happens? Because cellular activity started. So cells engage their cellular pumps, and now they're absorbing water. So way more water is going to be absorbed, actually. And not only this, because as soon as they absorb some water, they start throwing the garbage, it goes back into the blood, and now blood has to be cleansed. So now you need plasma for two things: for hydration of the cells and cleansing of the blood. This is very much energy demanding, so people get tired, and this is what happens when you have, let's say, symptoms of flu. It's a similar mechanism. So you get tired, and you may get nausea and even vomit if blood becomes very toxic as it is being cleansed. Now, going back into the problems with constipation, we are being told, oh, well, we have to eat dietary fiber. Well, dietary fiber does not exist. There are two types of fibers that we can encounter. One is from plants, which is pure cellulose, it cannot be dietary. It cannot be digested. You can break it down by cooking, but you still cannot digest it. And then another fiber is basically collagen fiber, collagen. Now, for example, when a baby comes to the outside world and starts sucking on milk, well, it's getting only liquid. And intestines cannot eliminate it, because intestine works on this action. So it is something similar to putting a rubber elastic into your pants. You usually take a longer needle or something, and then you put in, then squeeze, pull. Well, this is similar action, so it needs the needle. It needs something longer that intestine can grab on and pull. This is why it is not really good to eat cheeseburger, hamburgers, because you are eating minced meat. When my wife prepares a hamburger, she cuts the meat. She doesn't grind it. Or if she has no time and we go and buy ground beef, then it is the thick, not fine grinded, but as coarse, as big chunks as possible. Just because you need the fiber. It is always beneficial. And this fiber, the collagen fiber, why? Because yes, everything is being broken down, but some collagen may survive and reform into intestines just to be able to be used to pull things out. This is why animals, when they eat meat, omnivores and carnivores, how do they eat meat? Just look at your dog. You throw him a big piece of meat and what happens? And it's gone. You give him a little piece of bread, he will chew on it for half hour because it gets stuck to his teeth, and still they know that meat is being eaten in chunks. Everything else, like fruits, they are supposed to eat, you chew them. Now, why meat in chunks? Just because to keep the collagen fibers, because they digest much slower, so some of it will be left and it will be used as the pulling mechanism to cleanse the intestines. Babies, when they are drinking just milk, they don't have the fibers, so the body has to make it, and this is why there is lactose in the milk. And lactose is being converted mostly into complex sugar fiber and in the intestines and pulled out. A very small amount of lactose will be transformed into glucose and fed into the blood. I don't think anything will be transferred in glucose, even though we are being told yes. Because glucose is never supposed to come into our system from the outside, because it will reprogram genetically our body. And I write plenty about it. And these are not my discoveries. Other people have discovered it, but nobody puts two and two together. Because we are always being told, oh, look this way, don't bother with this stuff. Just tell you what I'm telling, remember what I'm telling you. Memorize what I'm telling you, and this is how it works. Don't look at the other stuff. Well, this is our problem. This is why you should never take one source of information as the only source. Always check many sources. So more information it comes, then you can think about it. But then you have to think about it. Don't take someone's word for it. Now you use your brain and think about what you have heard and make your rational decision. And if you don't trust it, experiment. That's what I do. Because I have discovered everything I was told was lie. So I had to observe, come to my opinions with obviously help from above, and Then I still didn't trust them. I had to make my own experiments on myself. I was vegan, I was vegetarian, started as omnivore, of course. Now I'm carnivore. Yeah, I eat occasional fruit, so I'm omnivore still. But basically, we have to learn, relearn the truth. So when it comes to constipation, it's never lack of fiber. Fiber has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's lack of plasma. And if body needs more plasma, it will try to soak every little bit of water and minerals that it can find in the intestines, which makes then your feces dry. It's simple as this. And don't wait until you get constipated. As soon as you see that the feces should be pasty, as soon as you see it's harder, it's formed, drink more plasma. Increase the plasma. Don't get into constipation. Now, what is your gauge that tells you that you need to drink more? Well, it is your stool. If it's getting formed, it can still be like mucousy, but has a formed round pieces of feces in it. Well, you are detoxifying, so you are producing mucus. With mucus you are cleansing the blood through mucus. And again, body is trying to recapture as much water, so the feces actually is semi-dry and look like a sheep feces, little balls. Well, this is beginning of constipation. So don't wait. Just load up on plasma. This is your gauge. If you don't go to bathroom one day and you have been eating day before, you are constipated. Drink. And if need to be, drink 2 liters of plasma in the morning just to get it going. And then continue with your regular regime. So some people say, well, can I soften my stool using prune juice? Well, fructose, any dry fruits, same with prunes, will have high level of fructose. Since the absorption is limited, most of the fructose will remain in the intestines, and when it comes to colon, it will ferment, producing alcohol, which inflames the intestine and prevents absorption, and this is what loosens the stool. Now, why to go through medicinal remedy? This becomes your medicinal remedy. It causes inflammation, then obstructs the absorption of water, which you actually need, and this is why you are constipated. So skip all this baloney and just go to plasma. Drink, 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 drink. You know, sometimes people, when they start, they feel bloated and it just doesn't go. Well, you will feel like this until you get the diarrhea going, because you are basically loaded with old stuff in there which prevents you from evacuating. And the old stuff could be there for a long time. And yeah, you can use enemas, but this is all superficial. Even good enema is all superficial, because problem is deeper down. It's from a cellular level. So just bite the bullet and do the right thing. We are now in particular time of rising frequencies. We will not be able to rise the frequency if low vibration is holding us down. And low vibration is not eating meat, as we are being told. This is all baloney by so-called awakened souls. They have no clue what they are talking about. Yes, you can eat vegetables if you want to. If you feel okay, you don't have any problems. Now it's a short time before change. If this is what you want to do it. But if you have health problems, skip the vegetable bologna and go and eat correctly and hydrate. And you will see, with proper hydration, use the self-healers protocol. If you cannot pay for it, just let me know, I'll give it out. I have to ask for money because whenever I don't ask for money, people forget to donate, and this is what I live from. Because I cannot practice openly, I'll be in the jail immediately if nothing worse would happen. So I do not advertise. Mostly what I live from is from donations. So forget about all these stories that you have heard from supplement junkies. Stool, quality of stool depends on hydration. And as you hydrate, stool becomes also the measuring stick telling you how much water you have to drink, how much plasma. Forget about the word even water. Hydrate with plasma because you have to cleanse. When you cleanse correctly, you will not only cleanse the chemical toxins that you have, but emotional toxins. So if you start feeling better and all of a sudden you have some nightmare dream and everything from past starts popping up, well, this is the toxic energy that is now being released from the cells, going into the blood and becoming known to you again, like a deja vu. It's coming back into you. You start remembering. You have to remember to release. Once when you remember it, now you have chance to say, well, I cannot forgive him because he bit me and I cannot stand it. Well, if you cannot forgive and not forget, forgive, then you cannot release. So just think about it. You are not harming the other person by pardoning him. You are harming yourself but not doing it. Okay, so you will go through this cleanse. When you do proper cleansing, because cleansing, you are cleansing toxic frequencies. Cells have no clue what frequency represents. Brain does, your brain. Cells don't have it. So cells just sense the energy, they sense the toxic energy, and time when they can release it. And hydration, proper cellular hydration, helps you with the process. And then things start bubbling up, and you may have bad dreams remembering all the stuff, but then you will be aware of it again, and you will release it. You will say, okay, now I know, and I don't care, you know, God be with you, kiss it goodbye. You don't have to be happy about it, but don't hold it as a grudge, because then you are keeping the low vibration, you cannot go up. You gotta release it. Everybody who now wants to see a Hillary dead and this, that, and that, forget about it. Okay? Yes, they did us harm. But it's not about revenge. It's about letting go. And now we have to learn this, because otherwise you don't go anywhere. Learn this stuff. And remember, hydrate. If you have a formed or harder feces, you don't have enough plasma in your system. Keep drinking. Thank you for listening. Till next time.